Stalin mocked the candy bombers. He mocked them until they saved an entire city. The year was 1948. The ashes of World War II had settled, revealing a new conflict. This was the Cold War. The city of Berlin was ground zero. It was a democratic island trapped deep inside Soviet-controlled East Germany. Joseph Stalin saw this as a cancer. He decided to starve it out. On June 24, 1948, the Soviet Union initiated the Berlin blockade. All roads, railways, and canals into West Berlin were cut off. Over 2 million civilians were suddenly hostages. They had only enough food for about 1 month. Stalin's calculation was simple. The Western Allies would either abandon the city or start World War III. He was confident they would choose to leave. The Allies faced an impossible choice. They chose an impossible solution. They would supply the entire city by air. The plan was codenamed Operation Vittles. The world knew it as the Berlin Airlift. Soviet leadership scoffed at the idea. They called it a futile, temporary propaganda stunt. How could airplanes possibly deliver the thousands of tons needed every day? The task was staggering. It required landing a plane in Berlin every few minutes. This had to be done 24 hours a day in all weather. The early days were chaotic, but the airlift grew with desperate efficiency. Pilots from America, Britain, and France flew relentlessly. These were the same men who had bombed Berlin only a few years prior. Now, they were its only lifeline. They flew in coal for heat. They flew in flour for bread. They flew in medicine for the sick. Then, one pilot started something new. His name was Lieutenant Gail Halvorsen. He saw children gathered by the airport fence, watching the planes. He wanted to give them something. He tied packs of gum and candy to tiny handmade parachutes. He dropped them from his plane as he landed. The act spread like wildfire. Soon, pilots all over the operation were doing the same. The press dubbed them the Rosenenbomber or Raisin Bombers. To the children, they were simply the Candy Bombers. This small act of kindness became a powerful symbol. It was a psychological victory that Stalin could not counter. This wasn't just a military operation, it was a humanitarian one. The constant drone of engines was no longer a sound of fear, it was the sound of hope. The airlift continued through the harsh German winter. At its peak, a plane was landing every 45 seconds. The operation delivered more supplies than the railways ever had. Stalin's mockery had turned to frustrated silence. His blockade had failed to break the city's spirit. It had only forged an unbreakable bond between Berliners and the West. On May 12, 1949, after 323 days, the Soviets lifted the blockade. They had been defeated. An entire city was saved by the determination of the pilots. The Candy Bombers had won the first battle of the Cold War. They won it not with weapons, but with persistence and chocolate.